Hey everyone, I'm Sherry and this is Mom. An eye-opening experience on just how people do not understand how to deal with children with special needs. And I mean any kind of need whatsoever. Else really, I'm just going basically off of my experience. So now our situation is my son he's never been in a hospital before. Recently been diagnosed with autism, has a lot of sensory issues, doesn't like to be vocal at all if he doesn't know you, at all, or in, any kind of serious way that, he has a lot of exposure to you. So basically what happens is when he has a high pain tolerance also. So if something really does start to bother him, then we know we need to worry. If he's pointing at things or, saying that this hurts or, trying to get your attention on something on his body, it's a major problem because he will not tell you anything. If a doctor or nurse is to ask him any kind of questions, his ultimate go-to is no. He'll just repeat no over and over and over, even if the answer is yes. Even if he's in some kind of dire pain, his brain's still going to the no. So then what happens is when they leave the room, I have to ask the question again because now there's no stress, there's no demand on him, there's nobody that, is foreign to him. He's not upset about, what's this person going to say or think about me. So then I have to ask him the questions all over again and then go back to the doctor myself and be like, okay, this is how he works. He's stressed out. He's going to tell you no. So these are the answers to the questions that you actually asked. These are the actual answers and how he's feeling. The one thing that truly got me while we were at this hospital, which, the hospital itself is great. The medical care is great. I have nothing to say against all of that. It's just like not having the awareness of dealing with different people. All of the doctors that walk in there are like quick to blah, 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 off the questions. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, he's not even understanding anything you're saying. Like, you're talking so fast. You're not directing things to him. You're not slowing yourself down in any type of way that he would be able to understand. You're not like showing body parts to him. You're not pointing to things to, to help his awareness of what you're talking about, what your answers you're looking for. You have a chart on the wall that has the different color faces. Like I think it was like a white face was 0 to 2. A yellow face was like 3 to 5. And then a red face was, 5 to 10. And then they had, I don't even remember what it was, but it was some other color that was like, off the charts and like a lot of pain. So like you could use that for like, how are you feeling in general? You could use that for, pain level, but it was right there on the wall and they weren't even using it for my son. And I had to tell every single person that walked in the door, my child is autistic. Like, please slow down and let him understand what you're saying to him. He cannot feel like he is third wheel here and mom's talking for him to the doctor and, no, like he's got to feel included. It's his care. It's him that's not feeling good. There's got to be a way to, I don't know. You obviously can't teach this in a class, but like if you're going to be a doctor or a nurse, the nurses were much better than the doctors, understandably. But then this is a teaching hospital also. This is another thing that got me. So there were a lot of students coming in and out. I get, people have to learn somewhere. I'm not against it being a teaching hospital. I'm not against them coming in the room and, interacting and learning and all of that. I'm not against it at all. I actually think that's a great thing. But in the meantime, the doctor that is in charge of them should be using it as a teaching moment to teach how to deal with a child that has a special need. At one point, he had to get in needle for, because he was getting dehydrated. So I had to beg them to get the child life specialist. And this is one thing, if you do not know, there is a such thing in every single pediatric hospital or hospital that has any kind of pediatric area. There's a person that they're called child life specialist. So their job is to come in and not only make your child comfortable in the hospital, explain any kind of anything that's going on. If it's from getting a needle in to how a surgery is going to go, to how a test is going to go, to keep your child just comfortable in general at the hospital, to keep them occupied. Some places have like video games and stuff that they're able to bring in, or just, like a game or a toy or a fidget. They were great. They brought my son like 5 different fidget toys to choose from, and were like, here, just take them home, whatever. So he felt comfortable that like, okay, these are mine. These aren't the hospital's. I have to be afraid to use them, or, uncomfortable touching them kind of thing. They made it so much easier. And I honestly think that if they could come up with a program in the hospital of how to deal with special needs people in general, and had the child life specialist teach the rest of the staff how to interact with people with special needs, anything across the board, I'm talking, not just autism, that would be awesome. Like it would make it so much easier. I felt like, yes, I'm already fighting for, care for my child. All this stuff that, like I as a parent have to keep on top of, because if the hospital misses something and then I'm going home with him, then, obviously it's a big problem. I want my child to get the care that he needs. So I am that parent that's like on them. When's this happening? When's that happening? You mentioned this. Is this still happening? Like I am on them the entire time that we are in the hospital. Same thing with the doctors, by the way. But anyway, so if they were able to somehow teach this sensibility of how to deal with and talk to people and make them feel more comfortable, I think that would definitely help the special needs population. Because now my mind goes to, okay, my child is, he obviously has a lifelong special need. That's not going away. It's not changing. This is what we're dealing with for his life. So if we get to a point where I'm gone and I'm, he has no parents, he's, an adult, like, how is he going to navigate going to a hospital, going to an ER, like anything like that? Because honestly, when we walked in there was no one understanding that, like, okay, my child has a special need and, we need to deal with this a little bit different. I'm not asking for like exceptional, like completely drastic care that anybody else would get. I'm just saying, like, get down on his level, make him feel a little bit comfortable. Understand that, he's not understanding you just rattling off your list of what may happen or may need to be done, or you need to slow it down. You need to explain things. You need to take a little bit of extra time with a patient that has special needs. And I don't know, like, if there is a program in the works anywhere, but I really feel there should be, because these days there are a lot of people with different special needs, a lot of people that need to be talked to a certain way, dealt with a certain way to make them feel comfortable. And if we could do that, that would save a lot of stress across the board. That would probably get a lot more people medical attention and help that they aren't willing to go to do because it's stressful for them and they don't understand and they just can't deal with it. So if anybody knows of any kind of program that's like that anywhere in the United States, please let me know. I'd be very interested to look into that and see if there's, something that could be done for this. But as far as I know, there's nothing in New Jersey that, is specialized to that kind of care. So I guess if you have any questions, or if you have an experience yourself of yourself having special needs, or your child having special needs and dealing with the doctor situation or hospital situation, or even, talking to a nurse, sometimes I know that's a little ridiculous as well. Please leave your notes in the comments and, maybe we can talk about it. Thanks and have a great day.